Good morning, good morning, good morning. We're in the old port, we're in the old port, and I got those steel toes. I just had a little bit of an event, a little bit on the emotional side, I guess. Shed some tears, you know. Rainbow dragon does cry sometimes, you know, rainbow dragon does cry sometimes. I do cry sometimes, but I just saw people hugging and kissing, and those over there, I think they're holding hands. I'm not sure because I gotta double check my vision, but public workers are working, public workers, and yeah, they're holding hands, it's confirmed, so that gives me double joy. Encourage you to go to work out, train, exercise, freestyle as we go on the road. I've been on the chilly side, not that hot, and yeah, they're holding hands, so that's also worth defending, fighting for, and carrying that weaponry, being armed for. And the butchers, the bakers, the nurses, the doctors, the grocery store clerks, financially stressed, but bring me some paint and tools and I'll paint the benches in the public. You know, it's a dragon versus Trump, North American Imperial People's Legion, Dragon Army, pledge your allegiance, on the steel toes. And here from Montreal, Hawk Island, Island of the Hawk. We're surrounded by a big river, which you just saw, and you're gonna see furthermore as we go around about it. And lots of tourists here, and always encourage all the workout, train out, exercise, and they're doing some public work. So public works on the aqueducts, the sewers, the aqueducts, the cement, the workers doing a little bit of that work line here. So it's always good here in La Belle Province and embellishing the whole city here. We got a lot of work to do, and I always encourage people to take a look in the public work area, whatever public works is going on, and the aqueducts. Imagine all the aqueducts first to have running water, the electricity. You know, civilization is a privilege, so we always gotta rock and roll. And all underneath the earth, just now I hydrated to get the hydration, the cleaning, filtration of the water, all underneath work, labor from the 20th century till now. And you know, I will bring with the paint and the tools, and that's all we gotta get doing with that. And we gotta paint red, blue, because we got that blue and red today. Black. This one I found it right after, I think, when I moved. Just before I found it, where I used to live, and years ago, and my memory goes that retrograde amnesia blackout. But nonetheless, I had this. I think this is the only thing that I still have from my old place. The other things, I kind of moved with nothing where I am now, you know, and I was depressed, suicidal, and then I started working out, training, exercising when I crossed Canada. That got me out of depression, and I would love to put some paint. Just paint these benches, you know. Just paint these benches, some of that good, you know, something good, and I don't know, some color, some blue, I guess, some red. Just put some paint on them for my fellow citizen who's there, you know. That's what we gotta do. That's what we gotta get doing with that. And see, we got paint here. We got paint blue, paint red, paint black, white, blue, all colors of the rainbow. And bring me the tools, the permission, and I'm gonna rock and roll and just paint all these benches for us here. 2.5 million people, big metropolis city, island, Hawk Island, Montreal. And here you can see some information. It's in French and in English. So you got a little bit into what happened in the 1960s, the planned construction of an outlet de la Commune. So you have a little bit of historical event here. You got to read a little bit of French, but you see the translation. So, you know, we're going to see the translation on the other side. And this is, of course, the artist, born 1959, and this is 1999. And that's what we got here. And those were built in 1967. Those look a little bit like ziggurats, ancient Sumerian. Ancient Sumer, Mesopotamia, where Babylon was. And you got those three, which kind of built in the 60s. I think 1967 or something. So it's always something good to explore if you want to see some, you know, strange, more peculiar, unique architecture. You're going to go see those there. And go see those on the side. You can cross it by walking the bridge and bring me some paint. I'll paint volunteer. And see, we got the city here. Montreal is a great city to place, and we got great festivals, and that's what it is, you know. So that, see, XYZ, and we got some red there with a little bit of heart, you know. That's what we gotta get doing with that. And you know, my fellow citizens here, all to come to join us in the North American Civilizational Collective, to get it on the love here. We're coming in the new world. We're Renewal, Canada, Quebec, Canada, North America, and brothers and sisters in the United States also, because I was born in the USA thrice. Post 70-76, once as a woman, you get that 50-50 now. A man, a woman, a man, a woman, a man, a woman. And there we gotta go on that side. And here you see the river, but this is only a small part. So the river is big, big, big. It's called St. Lawrence. It's actually very massive, but this is just for the port, right? For the port. So when you cross, we're gonna go in the coming days, weeks, and months ahead. We're gonna cross, because I haven't been, I think, in maybe, wow, more than 5, more than 7, 11 years since I haven't went outside of the island. No, I went with my friend on the Laval, and I went, wow, time. So it's a big river. Basically, that's what we gotta get doing, and encourage you all to work out, train, exercise. Grateful then to my rent's paid, electricity paid, and I would love to paint these benches here. Just some color on the benches, you know. I don't know, they're just so, they're just so gray, like those also. Just bring me the tools, man, tools, and I'll paint, you know. Paint all of these, you know, just put some paint, some blue paint, some red paint, just paint them, all of them. There's a lot of them to do. Just find them very gray, you know. I would love to put some paint on the benches. That'll be nice. Maybe blue, this one blue, that one red, like, you know, some color, that one. All of them, you know, all of them. Even the size there, the tables. You know, for us, for the tourists, that's what I would love, you know. To get it on the paint, just paint it all, or just paint it all, you know, paint it all with that, and that's what we gotta get doing with that, you know. So that's what we gotta get doing, man, you know. So it's something which we gotta be constituting the public embellishment of the public city and the public space and the public park. You know, it's something which we have to implement, you know, and is the embellishment of our cities, which the public works, and which have been done in the 20th century, and it's time to mass invest in the 21st century, even do that North American Criminal Rehabilitation Act, North American Criminal Rehabilitation Act, North American Criminal Rehabilitation Act, and the North American Criminal Rehabilitation Act. You know, and I don't have much of an official education, but, you know, I have Asperger's, so my brain's different, and my neurological condition, because it's not a mental illness, makes me predisposed to special focused interest where I'm super intense, super concentrated, super in it. And, you know, I love fitness activity, and I love to stay active, and it's geopolitics 24/7, morning, afternoon, night. My brain is constantly evolving, not evolving in the evolutionary sense, but it's constantly analyzing and theorizing in terms of geopolitics. Even now, looking at these benches, I would kind of evaluate the cost of the painting and how it would do from a public embellishment from a geopolitical perspective, in contrast to the world of geopolitics, of which we are Quebec, Canada, Quebec, a North American Civilizational Collective, or a North American Civilizational Complex, which, of course, of which I am myself as an individual living this minority, being a part of a minority, because it's less than 1%, less than half of a percentile. 0.44%, so there's not a lot of Aspies in the world, and our brains are just made different. So the brain divergence, our brains are different, so we see the world through a different lens, and certain things we just don't understand, we don't get. Social space, you know, the personal space, we tend to breach that, get close to the face with fellow citizens in conversation. We tend to repeat word sentences, we tend to have echolalia, repeating the exact word for word, verbatim per verbatim sentence which somebody other says, and that can be annoying, you know, that can be annoying, and that can be frustrating for somebody who's not neurodivergent, who is the neurotypical, which are the 99.56%. But there's strengths, there's forces, there's really a lot of power, intellectual, but it's reserved to those special focused interests usually, you know, because I do lack certain social skills, and certain social skills, or whatever the case may be, you know. I do lack the social skills and whatever have you, and the social skills which are required in the conversation, you know, something which we gotta be transmissive of, and that's what we gotta be doing with that. And I gotta I gotta do that first video. Let's see. I don't know if I could pause it and go to the call, or I got a call. I guess my anonymous friend called, and this is gonna be the introduction here, and then we're gonna take the call, and then we're gonna take on part 2. So rock and roll, encourage all the workout, train, exercise, and working out, training, exercising got me and made me lose 93 pounds, between 80 and 93 pounds, you know, because I was depressed, suicidal, and probably associated with Asperger's, with the neurological mental divergent condition known as Asperger's, which, you know, I had a lot of loss of friends and isolation and friendships, and made friendship, lost friendship, made friends, lost friends, because it's not easy sometimes being friend with an ass, because we're just weird and strange, and we have certain things which we lack, and we have to be told more directly, or we can be pretty direct ourselves, and being pretty direct sometimes can be offensive to some, but we don't mean to be offensive or just or direct, but that's what it is with that, and that's what we have to be doing on the love side of things. And here we got it to I just live with it, and that's about it. And there's the Hydro-Quebec. See, my brain now works in terms of geopolitics. So that is a Hydro-Quebec truck. Go Hydro-Quebec, go. We got to build more dams. So see, that's a Hydro-Quebec truck right there. So that truck is part of the Hydro-Quebec here in La Belle Province, which, by the way, is clean, zero pollution, zero emission energy. And I rock and roll for them 24/7, because rock and roll parallel to geopolitics and sports and fitness is my special interest, is my special focus interest. And sports and fitness, dancing and rock and roll and geopolitics, that's my holy trinity, and that's constantly, those elements take my whole life. So here's the Quebec Hydro-Quebec truck, go Hydro-Quebec truck, and my brain now switches. I know Hydro-Quebec has about 63 dams, and there's hundreds of trucks like this across La Belle Province. Our power goes to 5 or 6 states in the US, and now I put it in a geopolitical context, in what's happening now geopolitically with the deterioration of the temporary, I'm going to say temporary, because me and Trump are going to fight on the Canadian-US border. Temporary, the temporary Canada-United States relation, which is going to be even stronger emerging in the coming days, weeks, and months ahead, because of my trinity of theories. But now my brain goes in the geopolitical arena, and of course our Hydro-Quebec, go Hydro-Quebec, go. Our dams, our knowledge is open for espionage and sabotage, because we made certain decisions in the geopolitical sphere, which can of course intersect and interject with the values or the opponents of our North American civilizational complex, mixing Canada and United States common destiny and common interest as a North American civilizational collective, a new collective, where here whence we made the great linguistic compromise of the French language. So that's how we gotta rock and roll with that. So now something which I gotta go try to get a call, because it's important. My anonymous friend, one of the only friends we got, but I'm making new friends now. I gotta salute the public workers. Yeah, public workers. The public worker did a little bit of that. Public workers give them NFL, National Football League, NHL, National Hockey League, NBA, MLB sports leagues. Give them some tickets to the public workers of the collective North American civilizational complex, of the North American civilizational complex. And that's what we got to get doing with that. And it's not all about the money. It's not all about the money, you know. There's got to be some love, and it's not all about fight. The true North, strong and free, we got to add some love, you know. We got to add some love. So gonna add some love with that and put it on the interside of things, and that's where we're gonna go, all the way to the mountain, I guess. Yeah, we can cross there, so it's gonna be rock and roll as it is. But now I'm gonna give a little call back to my anonymous friend, who wasn't my friend because of the money, because I never had it. So I'm gonna see if I can pause and then continue. If not, I'm just gonna continue the video from here, I guess, from this nice building. Go construction, go. Help build the North American people's Imperial Coliseum, as we're gonna go build it in together, and that's what we gotta get doing with that, and gotta build it together, you know, rock and roll. And the forgotten God is because I credit me surviving COVID, surviving right to the GODDSS, and we're gonna of course build a rainbow people's palace for my fellow neurodivergent community, and not just neurodivergent, but for my fellow LGBTQ, being that I am androgynous pansexual, and that's all we gotta be doing, and that's all we gotta get doing with that, and that's all we gotta get loving, you know. So hopefully somebody making love, don't waste time. If consent, and hug today like you never hugged before. I hope for my fellow Canadians, the true north, strong and free, and my brothers and sisters, because I was born in the USA 3 times, served in the United States Armed Forces twice, and post 76 served twice in the United States Armed Forces. We gotta find some love, and it's not too much to ask for the home of the brave and the free. Hug like you never hugged before. Today, my fellow Canadians, that's the message. Gonna be back.